Hi, Sally Walker here, your hormone expert, and welcome to my hormone blog. Today I am going to talk about body shape after menopause. The other day I talked about your mental and emotional state after menopause, but today we're going to talk about the physical part of you, so your body shape. Many ladies complain of the extra tummy fat, so the muffin tops. Some ladies complain about extra fat around their buttocks and their thighs, and some even around their breast tissue. But yes, ladies, the run up to menopause, so perimenopausal times, and especially the times after menopause, you can expect, unfortunately, to store more fat. Why is the big question, and what can you do about it? Well, why? Well, it's all about the damn hormones, isn't it? So it's about, in principle, 3 hormones, one called estrogen, the other one called cortisol, and the third one called insulin. So when these hormones go out of balance, we will store more fat. So why did they go out of balance? Well, the biggest reason why they go out of balance is the drop in estrogen. So the perimenopausal times and working through to the menopause, where your ovaries stop producing estrogen, you will lose about 70% of your overall estrogen production. So estrogen is a really important hormone related to cortisol and insulin. It seems to keep them in check. So when we lose the estrogen, these 2 hormones now are not controlled as well as they were before. And cortisol loves to store fat on the tummy, and insulin, well, just loves to store fat, basically. Doesn't care where it puts it. But because cortisol becomes dominant, then a lot of it will go on your tummies. So what can you do with that? Well, you've got to look at the 3 hormones, haven't you? Can you affect these hormones in any way? So, well, cortisol, we call it the stress hormone. So anything that is going to stress you, physically, mentally, emotionally, will increase your need for cortisol. Then we look at insulin. So insulin's all to do with blood sugar. So if your blood sugars are on the high side, then you're going to need to produce more insulin. Now, please remember here that cortisol also will lift blood sugar levels. So these 2 hormones work together, don't they? So related to blood sugar, careful with your carbohydrates. That would be a good thing to do. We become more carbohydrate sensitive after menopause, ladies. We don't tolerate them as well as we did before. And then there's the estrogen. So can you support your estrogen? Well, one, you have 30% production. And that 30% you really want to be looking after. Make sure you're getting as much as that as possible. And this production is very much affected by cortisol, or your need for cortisol. So the more you are stressed and need cortisol, the less of your own production of estrogen you will be doing. So that's not quite so good, is it? Yeah. Anyway, can you support the estrogen? Well, of course you can. You could use some hormones, hormone creams, hormone gels, that kind of thing. You can maybe look at the plant hormones. So in some way, trying to support, to add some estrogen to the body is absolutely going to help your ability to control the 2 hormones and then control how much fat you will be storing. But one of the most important things here, ladies, is that you will never have the body shape that you had when you were 35, even 40 years of age. It changes. Remember, menopause is called the change, and you will change physically, mentally, emotionally. So a lot of this is acceptance that that flat tummy is probably not going to be around, but that doesn't mean to say it has to be big. You must do all you can, and I promise if you look after the 2 hormones, cortisol and insulin, you support your estrogen, you will find that you store less fat. And there is a lot of science out there which is actually supporting this. So I hope you found that interesting, and let me know if there's some other symptoms you'd like me to go through. Please send me an email, sw@sally-walker.com. I'd love to hear from you. And otherwise, happy hormones, happy life.